What's up, everybody? My name is Dell. This is Dell on Movies. Thanks for hanging out with me. And if you've been here before, thanks for hanging out with me again. By the time you watch this video, you may have seen me pop up on some other channels or just in the background of some pictures on Instagram. That's because I got to meet up with a bunch of, I'll call them blue tubers, since Tim says at Tim Talk Talkies, he says I can't really call them YouTubers. I'll call them blue tubers. That's what I'm going to call this, at least for today anyway. And I met up with a bunch of guys, and of course some ladies also, um, who do this thing that I do. And this was about 4 hours from my home, 4 hours from where I live. I met them over in Ashville, North Carolina, and got to go to Orbit DVD for the first time. And before I get into that, because it's actually the first time I've ever purchased from Orbit also. But before I get into that, I do want to say, give all of those guys a special shout out because I was very, very late. Everybody was supposed to meet at a certain time. I got started, hit the road late, and then domino effect, everything kind of got going sideways for me. By the time I showed up, they had already been in the Orbit and were sitting down eating lunch. I showed up there, got to talk with all of them, and had a good time for a while. And then after they all left, two people stayed behind. Ryan from Movies with Ryan and Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music. They stayed behind, hung out with me, went back into Orbit, and we were in there for maybe an hour, maybe even more than that. I really lost track of time. Um, so special shout out to those guys, but shout out to everybody. And I'm talking about Bob's Blu-rays. We got Tony from Basement Blues, Tim, who I've already mentioned, Tim Talks Talkies, Jeff, John, who's known John Doe Juggalo, uh, and I'm drawing. Oh, Johnny watching, Johnny and his wife, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody, and I apologize. But everybody I did meet, I'm gonna go ahead and put their links to their channels in the description, so you can definitely hop over, support them, so subscribe to them if you're not, because they're all wonderful content creators in their own right, or blue tubers as I'm calling them, but they're all great, and show them some support because they deserve it. And let's go ahead and get into what I actually purchased at Orbit. My first time ever being there, and first time purchasing from them at all, as I've never even went to the website until now. The first movie I picked up is Black Dragon. It's also a double feature with Enforcer from Death Row. Yes, Enforcer from Death Row. And the reason I picked this one up is because I happen to have the sequel to Black Dragon, which is Black Dragon's Revenge. And if you saw my video from a couple days ago, you'll know that I am doing a martial arts marathon for the month of March. I'm going to watch as many martial arts movies as I can. And Black Dragon's Revenge was one that I wanted to watch but didn't have the first one. Went into Orbit, there it was, so I had to grab that. And now I'm definitely going to watch both of those movies. Whether or not I get to Enforcer from Death Row, I'm not sure. But I'm definitely going to watch those two movies for this month for the martial arts marathon. And let's gonna go ahead and give it a quick open, see what we're working with here. I'm not expecting much from this as far as the inside goes and all that sorts of thing, and it came off pretty easy. And once again, there is the movie, the disc without all the wrapping, and the back. So movies from the 70s. Ron Van Cleef is the star. He became a rarity. He became a black martial arts star in China. He was actually in China making these movies. He was not doing this in America. So just all sorts of kudos to him. There's the inside. It's actually pretty cool. But that is Black Dragon and Enforcer from Death Row. The next few movies are all DVD upgrades. So I have these movies on DVD or stuck in a box somewhere. I'm gonna dig them out, and those can now go out of the collection. And I'm gonna start with this movie right here. I Saw the Devil, a fantastic revenge film. As you can see, here's it's region B locked. So luckily I do have a region free player, so I'm gonna get to watch it. However, I did notice there was a an American release of I Saw the Devil there, or at least region A. That was a few bucks more, so I went with the cheaper option this time. Here's the movie without the rapper, and it is a fantastic revenge movie. Like I said, if you haven't seen this one, check it out. However, it is not for the squeamish. It's a pretty brutal movie, and it's just highly entertaining if you can deal with that, the brutality of it for sure. Next movie is Posse, and this is a western from the mid '90s. Mara Van Peebles directed. A mostly black cast, but it does have Stephen Baldwin in the movie, Billy Zane in the movie, and they're actually on opposing sides in the film. So, but it is definitely one that's a ton of fun. And again, this is going to be an upgrade, or it is an upgrade from DVD. So I'm going to have a blast getting to see this on Blu-ray for the very first time. I saw it in theaters when it came out, and anytime I've seen it after that, it's been on DVD. So now I get to see it in Blu-ray in some high def, and I'm looking forward to it. On the inside, nothing fancy there, just a disc, some nice artwork on it, but wasn't expecting that, but just happy to have it on Blu finally. The next movie is one that is going to help me fulfill a promise that I actually made to viewers last year. If you cared, I'm going to try to do it again this year. My plan was to watch the entire Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. I have seen most of the movies, not all of them. And what held me up was that I did not have this one movie, and now I have it, and it is Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3. I have seen the movie, but it was in theaters when I saw it, which it came out in 1990, so 34 years ago, or really 33, because I probably saw it in the summer that year. So 33 and a half at least years ago that I've last watched this movie, so I'm looking forward for a revisit. And yeah, that will definitely figure into my plans for the channel in October, is getting through this entire franchise and ranking it, and we shall see where this places. But here is the movie, and that's the cover anyway. On the inside, again, not expecting much, and I didn't get much. Just a little bit of art on the disc showing Leatherface, and that's cool. So happy to have it, and let the viewing of the massacres begin. I guess we call it massacres, but yeah, you know what I mean. The next movie is one of two 4Ks that I picked up while I was there at Orbit, and this is another upgrade from DVD. So instead of going from DVD to Blu-ray, this time I'm jumping all the way to 4K, and this is a movie that I watched as a child way too many times, and that is, and I showed you the back first, but that is Cat People. Natasha Kinski is the star right there, and yeah, I used to watch this movie on HBO over and over and over and over. As an adult, I've seen it like twice as an adult, and I still have fun with it. It's a kind of a goofy movie, but it's still a good one. And let's go take a look and see what's on the inside of this one. It's going to be a little bit harder to cut this one, so I'm going to have to concentrate here because it does have a slip on it. And I'm not a slipcover guy, but I don't want to cut it if I have it, right? I managed to get into it without doing any damage to it. Here it is without the plastic all over it. And it is a very nice looking cover. And there's the back. And here's this same art on the actual case and on the back also, so no big deal there. Opening it up, nothing spectacular, which is fine by me. I have the movie now, and we have the Blu-ray here and the 4K over here, so I'm definitely looking to checking this out in 4K. It's a movie, like I said, I watched this movie so many times as a teenager, and then I've watched it a couple times as an adult, and I always have a blast with this movie because it's just nutty. And let me know what you think of it if you've seen it. If not, check it out. Last but not least, this is a movie that is Ryan's fault. So shout out to Ryan. But let me let you in on a little bit of the conversation that was had at the restaurant that I told you everybody was eating at when they all figured out that I was definitely going back to Orbit, or going to Orbit for the first time, and that Ryan was going back, so he was going to go with me. And I was warned, don't let Ryan be a bad influence on you. And this is kind of what they meant, because I wasn't quite expecting to spend as much, and I wouldn't have if I didn't get this movie. That said, I'm thankful that I have this movie, so thumbs up for you, Ryan. Not really a bad influence, but the movie is Jackie Chan's Dragons Forever, and Sammo Hung directed. He's also in the movie, and this movie, like I said, it's eluded me. I've never seen it, and if you were paying attention, back in January, I did what I call Jackie January. So I watched a bunch of movies. Of course, I didn't watch this one. And with doing Martial Arts Madness in March, I'm gonna watch this one, even though I already spent a bunch of time with Jackie Chan. But I'm gonna definitely check this one out. And this is a nice hefty case from 88 Films. Another first for me. I do not have any 88 films in my collection, which is odd for a person who loves martial arts movies. So that's going to be changing soon, I'm sure. But let's go ahead and check out what's inside this bad boy right here. Here's the movie without the wrapping on it, and I'm going to have to take some tape off a little bit because here is a J card that's really going the opposite way of most J's cards. They got it coming around the bottom. So let's go ahead and get that off of there. All right, I got it off. There it is right there, and I don't really care about J cards, so this may wind up inside here. It may wind up in the trash. I don't know yet, and I'm just tossing it back that way. Here is the movie, the case without that on there, and I love the artwork. And it's actually reminiscent of the artwork that Arrow has been doing for the martial arts movies lately. So I'm guessing Arrow may have stolen it from them because they've been around doing martial arts movies longer than Arrow. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. Here is the first thing that's in here, again, is this beautiful booklet. It's pretty thick. I think it said 88 pages on the back, and not going to go through the whole thing, but you can see it's a pretty thick book. There's the back. The front has the same cover as, it doesn't have quite the same cover as the movie. It's a little bit different, as the case does. Next thing here is a poster. Let's see what the poster is looking like. The first one is on the first side is just the cover art for the case. On the back side, looks like the movie poster or alternate art there. So that is pretty cool. And now finally to see the movie itself, or the case itself. There again is the case. And we have some more stuff in here. So we have some art cards here. We got a whole stack of those. There's the movies, Blu-ray and 4K. And love the art on the disc. Very cool. There's the back in case you want to check that out. And let's see. I think I am going to not pull out all these art cards, or am I? Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to pull out all of the art cards, but there is a stack of those right there. So yeah, that is Dragons Forever. That is the complete haul from me from Orbit DVD. I was very pleased. If anybody is not familiar with Orbit, they have a lot of boutique stuff there, stuff that you probably can't find anywhere else, or have a really hard time finding anywhere else. And then they have some regular standard releases like you saw that I have. Also things that you probably have a hard time finding, which is why some of those were not already in my collection. For some of things, they're a little bit pricier than normal, but I'll gladly pay for some of those because of how hard it was to normally find them. Though yes, some of you can get cheaper in other places, but when I'm standing there in front of it, holding it in my hand, that's a powerful persuader right there. So I went ahead and grabbed it. Shout out again to all those guys. I do have a picture or two that I'll put up. And I'm not in the picture because I took those pictures. And yeah, check them all out. Again, links to them in the description. And support those guys. They're all fantastic creators. As for me, this is all I have for you on this video. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those types of things, and hope to see you again. Catch you on the next one, guys. Bye.